I just had a huge realization about not feeling good enough applied to my life, and maybe this can help you too. So I was having this internal monologue because I couldn't figure out the reason why I always felt like I was crushing my head against the wall whenever it came to me idealizing a certain person. I was like, how come? How come I am working so much on myself, but at the same time, I seem to reach a point where I always feel that I am not good enough. And I realized that, first of all, I was idealizing this person. I was thinking of this person as somebody that has everything that I want. So I was over idealizing this person. I was constantly thinking that they had everything that I wanted. And this means that I don't have that thing yet. I don't have that whole thing, that I am not there yet. So I didn't feel good enough. I realized that I was attaching my value and me being good enough to actions that I take, to behaviors, to how many things I know, the knowledge that I have, to like certain things, you know. I was attaching my worth and me not being good enough to how my life is not to the point where I want to be yet. So I was feeling not good enough because I felt that the other person had already everything figured out. And so I realized that I was feeling extremely insecure because the person that I was comparing myself to had everything that I wanted. And I feel that I lacked that I was lacking a lot of aspects that I wanted to have instead. Oh my god, today is hell. So I realized that I was attaching my worthiness to the work, the job that I do, to the people that I meet, the friends that I have, to my family, to like a lot of things. And to really awaken me on this subject, I told myself, what do you think of homeless people? They don't have anything, literally anything. Do you think they are worthless? And I was like, hell no. They are humans. I see their value. I see that they are good enough. I see their worth as human beings. I can feel compassion for them. And then I started to think about all of the times in my life where I am judging others for not being good enough, you know, and I really found myself always looking out in which ways people are not good enough. So of course, even though I was working on myself, if I am out there in the world pointing fingers at people, thinking that they are not good enough for the jobs that they have, for their circle of friends, for their ideologies, like, I will always look for perfection. And of course, when I sort of find that perfection, I over idealize it to actually feel that I am good enough exactly for who I am. I stopped pointing fingers at other people too. I wanted to look at, like, it's kind of weird because I was looking for perfection. But whenever I found perfection or something that I thought of perfection outside of me, I was feeling that I was not good enough. I was feeling that that was just too perfect for me. So it's like I was chasing after perfection, but at the same time, I felt like I was in lack. Like I was not good enough for that perfection. You see that? So in order to feel that I am good enough, I have to first of all realize that I am good enough exactly as I am right now. I don't need to behave a certain way or reach certain goals to be good enough. Do not attach your worthiness and you being good enough to your job, to your friends, to your family, to none of that, because you are worthy just for being alive, just for being a human being. So as I caught myself being very judging others, I decided to try to have a different approach. Whenever I find something that I don't like about someone, I catch myself right there and I say, look, you are looking out for perfection. But what if you can just see how good enough and worthy they are for just being who they are? Otherwise, we will always be out there looking for perfection, when in fact everyone has flaws, as we are human beings. Instead of judging others for their flaws, try to see their humanity about that. So I have been idealizing somebody in my life, and to the extent that I was not feeling enough. I was forcing myself to feel like I am good enough, but in my brain I was constantly thinking about what this person has that I don't, how this person is living their best life and I am not, and how I felt like that person was little perfection, and that means that I am not perfection. So I was like, how can I make myself be on the same league as that person? Because it's all in my head, it's not actual. I was like, did this person ever tell you that you are not good enough? And I was like, no, this person never told me that I am not good enough. I am the one who's thinking like that. I was hyper idealizing this person because I felt that they have it all. They are doing the life experiences that I wanted to do. And then at that point, I told myself, do you think that only people who have what you want are worthy or that are good enough? Do you only have that standard? I don't have to be perfect. I can be a work in progress. I don't have to have it all figured out right now. I'm working towards it. Like, I just have to make peace with the fact that I don't need to be perfect. And I was thinking in terms of relationships. I don't have to be perfect in order to be with someone else that I consider perfect. Because first of all, perfection in that sense does not exist, because the person that I am idealizing will have flaws. I am idealizing them in my head, but they are humans. They are humans, they have their flaws, they have their insecurities, they have their triggers and issues. So I am idealizing somebody that is probably not feeling that way about themselves. They don't have to be extremely successful, and I don't have to be that either. Sometimes there is like some pressure in the law of attraction community or self-development community, because coaches teach that we have to be whole and complete first within ourselves, and then we will attract our partners. The thing is that I interpreted that in a way where I needed to be perfect before actually getting into a relationship. So I was like always chasing perfection without realizing that it doesn't have to be that way. It really does not. I don't have to have my dream job. I don't have to have the perfect friends. I don't have to have the perfect family to manifest my partner. What it's so hard to believe about the fact that I am good enough. Like, I was always chasing for perfection. I was always trying to chase after success because I unconsciously felt that I was not good enough, because otherwise if I felt good enough, I wouldn't have felt that need of chasing success, something bigger. I felt that I needed to get something big in life. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been worthy or good enough. If I felt worthy, good enough, and complete, would I feel the need to chase after huge things? And the answer is no. Because if I am good enough right now, I don't need to chase after success. I don't need to chase after huge things. I look around and I see people that surround me, and I'm like, okay, not everyone has to succeed immensely in their lives. People can live like regular lives too. People can live simple lives and be happy still. So I don't have to chase after things that are too big for me. I don't have to do that. in order to be worthy, in order to be good enough. If I want to do it because I have that goal, but not in order for me to make myself feel good enough, but just because it's something that I'm passionate about, then of course I can do that. In fact, when I will get what I want, I won't be perfect either. But I am good enough right now, and I will always be good enough.